Hey, what's up? This the Norman Order, and I'm behind these white bars trying to put the covenant together. And so you just stand by me. I'm actually on the phone. I ain't gonna tell you who yet, but maybe I'll tell you, maybe I won't. But we're just sitting about talking about bringing back the covenant and making things better. And sometimes Christianity and religion itself, institutionalized religion, I would call it. It makes one with tunnel vision, where it ain't this, it ain't that, it ain't that, it ain't this. First of all, we was given certain feelings, mental feelings, what you say, emotional feelings, and when we take our emotions, and I say we go to church and we jumping up and down, emotional, that's that, we feel good, and that's almost like equivalent to, that's like a spiritual, emotional feeling that we have, and what they have done, they have said you can only have, you could do it in your house and shout in your house, and they'll use the word praise, right? But at the same time, when they do it in church, they give it where you have these, and then you have so many people with you, and you're doing this emotional flow of things, and they feel that that's the only way you can gather with people to do it. Now, when you go to the club and everybody's having fun, right? And, they're doing the same thing, that's still emotional. Now, sometimes this emotionalism can be too much. And that's the point I'm saying today. It's a lot of times when we're coming under the covenant of Abraham, right, through the three wives, as to say, of Keturah, Sarah, and Hagar, and their children, right? Basically, what's going on now is that when the Levites, right, when they had their gatherings, they was doing a lot of reading. They wasn't doing a lot of emotional preaching. They was reading and ministering the word, and we can't see that when we read the scriptures, because the ones that's administering the word today has a band, he has this, he has that. That was not included. All this emotionalism, what happens with emotionalism is that you're not really getting the instruction that we need. So what you're doing is you're going to church, it's like a party. It's like a fashion show. And many of you know this. But if you do the same thing over and over and over, you get the same results. So what's happening now, what we're going to do, we're going to try to give you some more instructions. So we got these big white bars in front of me. And this is just to let you know that we're being put in a cage. You see, because another part of the covenant, right, actually gave us another reality, and these are what we would call the Midianites. Now, the Midianites were still, see, when you're looking at the planet Earth, right, and you're looking at this covenant, and you're seeing that the covenant is coming from Jerusalem. And then you see another part that's coming from the same east, as to say, but then it's they call it Mecca, right? And then another part of the covenant. Well, first of all, one in Genesis it tell you about one land. So you got one land mass, and then over a period of time you had a continental drift. So now it's five main structures to this place, right? So, but the way the map makers are illusionists. What they did, right? They started making these maps so they can have a story to tell. They did South America, Central America, and what they call North America, which is considered to be United States and Canada. Okay, and then they from Canada. Right, they have what they call Alaska, and then they have what they call the Bering Strait. Now, the Bering Strait will take you back into China, and then it take you all the way back to Europe, through the Arabian Desert and everything, and take you back to Europe, and then Europe will actually take you to Africa. So basically, the land is still a strip, but the way they put it on the globe is they kind of make it seem like everything is kind of separated. So you never see the back of it. If you was to see the back of what they're talking about, or if you see it from another angle, you see. But what they did, they used longitude and latitude, right, which is up and down, which is basically and then they took that and put it around, and then they got lines of the perimeter, then they got timelines, all this division. So what happens is now we're all divided. Now they took basic lines of what they call boundary lines, right? And then they started saying, well, who owns this and who owns that? Now we got countries. You see, and then in the countries or in these different masses of land masses, right, that they say separated, which really didn't separate. It's just that the map builders and the way they put the map, right, it would appear to be separated. Because first of all, okay, you got the land and you got the water. If you take away the water, what you're going to have? You're going to have the land. So the land is not really separated. It's only by the water. By you looking at the water, it seems like it's separated. But anyway, there is a bridge that they walked over, which is called the Bering Strait. If you look up Bering Strait, you would see that China to Alaska to Africa to Canada, coming down to United States, it basically was a land bridge where they walked and migrated. So they migrated from South America up to Central America to North America to Canada, and then went back to China, and it was just a big circle, like roller skating. I've mentioned that because I've skated, but just a big circle going around. So when Canada came, Canada just stopped that, and that's why you really hear nothing about Canada, and from Canada, and Canada was from British. The British took Canada. They were so ruthless. What they did was they didn't even have no mercy on the natives that was here, the people that are sovereign. So because they had to stop that. That's why you don't really hear about the Bering Strait is a land bridge where you can actually walk over. But certain times, the water comes up and it covers the bridge. So you can't walk on it, and then through a period of time, you're not going to walk over it because, like I said, that's a done deal. But this is what happened. Anybody knows about the Bering Strait, that's why they call it the Bering Strait, because you can actually walk on it. And in different times, the water rises and fall, so they can't walk on it now. So now what British did, they took that, they stopped that, boom, you're not messing here, and they carved out. We was dealing with the French and the Spanish, and then what we are today, what people emulate, Europe, is the 13 colonies, and from the 13 colonies, they went and established this. They broke off from what they was doing. When they had, see, Europe, we say Europe, from the Queen, she owned three quarters of the world. She had dominated that. It was just certain parts in Africa that they couldn't do, and one of them was cartoon. And that's why they call it cartoons, and they make fun of cartoons, and it's animated, and it's funny and stuff like that, because cartoon was in Sudan. Sudan was with the Blue Nile and the Blue Nile and the White Nile, you see, all along what they would call Egypt. They cousins. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, with these visual boundary lines, they make it seem like a whole nother state. But anyway, I'm gonna get back with you. I know we're kind of quick. You know how I do. I'm King Norman in the YouTube White Bar series. I'm gonna get back to you and I'm gonna explain to you. This is part 1. Hit that button. Get back to part 2. All right, one.